Hi guys, it's Rick from Tackle Village here with another fly tying video. Today we're going to tie a fly known as the X-Caddis, a really good caddis pattern for you. Now if you want to, if you like this video, please hit like, please subscribe to our channel, as all the engagement on the channel helps us spread the word. Now I'm going to replace this one that I've just tied, put in a new hook. So with this fly, we're going to tie with a Tiemco 100 standard dry fly hook. I'm just putting that in the vise now. Tiemco 100. You could also tie it with a sedge hook, the curved sort of sedge hook if you wanted to. That'd make an equally nice fly. I've used a down eye. TMC 100 is a down eye hook. You could equally use straight eye, whatever your preference. Not super important. Okay, so we're just laying down a thread base. Trim that off. First step with this fly is to tie in what's the main point of difference with this fly, which is a trailing shuck made of a fibre called Zelon, which is a little tricky to get. It's a sort of sparkly fibre. Once you can, at a pinch, you could use Antron equally, but I'm using the actual Zelon. I'm tying that in now. Antron in a honey colour would probably be a good substitute. Okay, I've tied that in. That makes the trailing shuck. Looks a bit messy, but we're going to trim it off at both ends. I'm just trimming the stems here at the front, and I'll wrap them down. Excellent. All right, I'm going back to the tying point at the back, and I'm just putting some dubbing wax on this thread because I'm going to dub this fly with Antron, which is a good body for caddis, but it's not the easiest thing to dub, so needs a little bit of wax on the thread. Okay, just going to get my dubbing rope started. Won't be a moment. This is a pretty quick and easy tie, and you can dub it with any sort of body, buggy dub. You could use superfine dry fly dubbing. You could use possum, whatever dubbing you like to use. In this case, I've used Antron. I think it's a good choice for this fly. All right, here we go. Now I've got the tapered dubbing rope, and I am dubbing a relatively slender, compact body. Dub it forward, and I'm going to bring it forward to just behind the hook eye. This is probably going to work out roughly perfect. Okay, great. So I'm going to stop just behind the eye. Next step is to tie in our underwing, which is a couple of C2C feathers. I've got them sort of aligned so the curvature goes this way, if that makes sense. I'm going to take them so they poke out just a little bit behind the bend of the hook, but not as far as the trailing shuck. So I'll tie those in, 1, 2, 3. Excellent. I'm going to trim off the ends. Perfect. Now the next and final step to this fly is to put on the deer hair overwing. So I've stacked the deer hair beforehand so we can save on time. Just pulling it out now. So here's my deer hair. Used a bunch about that size. I've got rid of the guard hairs or under hairs, and I've stacked it up. So bear with me. Again, I'm going to put that to a point where it just hangs over the end of the fly. Now I'm going to wrap 1, 2, each wrap getting a little bit harder, 3, starting to flare a bit, 4, and 5. That's my deer hair anchored. Let's do one more wrap to make sure. Now I'm going to keep it on. I'm not going to trim it at this point. I'm going to bend it back like so, and now I'm going to wrap around the downward eye, and I'm going to whip finish here, because once you cut the deer hair, it gets very messy and it's hard to whip finish without catching the ends of the deer hair. Okay, so now I've whipped finish, locked that in. First thing I'm going to do is trim the thread. Fly's pulled out a bit of the vise, it's actually not horizontal anymore. Okay, so now I've got the fly back to horizontal, kind of. Anyway, I'll fix that up once I've trimmed the deer hair fibres. So what I want to do is trim these back at a 45-degree angle with a little bit overhanging. Boom. To make that traditional head that we do with a caddis fly. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to trim the Zelon trailing shuck a little bit about that much, about I guess half the length of the hook shank you want trailing over the back. Then just make sure that trim a little bit of, a few deer hair fibres have sort of snuck around, so I'll just trim those. But basically we've got, that's our completed fly. We've got the X-Caddis. I'll rotate it in the vise so you get to see it. X-Caddis, see it from all angles. A little bit of neaten up that head just a little bit. There you have it. Very effective caddis pattern, the X-Caddis. So I hope you enjoyed that video. Subscribe to our channel. There's plenty more videos on here, a whole range of dry fly patterns, wet fly patterns, nymphs, etc. Hit like if you enjoyed it. Subscribe, and we hope to see you here next time. Thanks very much.